Kia ora whānau, and welcome to a very belated and long, overdue episode of Get a Job and Get Healthy with Costas Enterprises. With me, your host, Alex Costas. I know I said I was going to get back to you guys the next week with more details on the competition and what I was going to give away and all that sort of stuff. A lot has sort of happened. As I spoke about last time with my last episode, if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. Basically, some stuff happened in my life. It kind of took a bit of a turn. That stuff is still ongoing. I am still trying to deal with all the fun stuff, and because of that, I have been pretty slack with a lot of things. Not so much not finding a motivation, but more so just feeling completely restless and buggered and all that sort of stuff. I don't know what this episode's going to be about. I thought I'd talk about a few things going on in my life and what's going on. But before I get into that, I'll go through all the fun stuff. So first and foremost, if you do want to contact me, you can do so on my email, doncostas@gmail.com. That's DON for Nike, COSTAS @gmail.com, all lowercase. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram @thekiwidon, and you can also find me on my website, www.costasenterprisebusiness.blog. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys want to get into what's been going on or anything like that. The support has been fantastic for the people that have listened to the episode and have reached out and have helped me realize that there are people in my life that are important. The basic gist of it for people that don't know is my mother got quite sick, and I have quite a strong relationship with my mother. Those that know me personally know that that's probably strong is probably not even the strongest of words, should be a much stronger word. And so with her getting sick, she was into the hospital, and I'm in the position now where I'm trying to find her a rest home. She is not allowed to go back to her house. The hospital have basically said now she needs 24-hour care and all that sort of fun stuff. So there's been a lot of things like trying to organise the house in order for us to hold a rest home. For those that don't know, a rest home in New Zealand is not cheap. Basically, we're looking at about $8,000 a month to cover her, which means we have to sell the house, which is what I'm looking at doing now. And there's a whole lot of other stuff that comes with it as well. So it's not a simple process, unfortunately. But we are trying to, sort that all out. I'm trying to sort it out. Mum's just, being mum and doing what she does. So yeah, it's taken a bit of a toll on me mentally, physically, and emotionally, and still is, being realistic. While I've pushed through a lot of it, it's still, everything's on the precipice there. I'm sitting in the position where I'm like, what do I do? How do I keep this going? Keep up with my work, keep up with my study. I almost completely missed my study. I basically had to cram within 2 days a month's worth of a module, and then within those 2 days also pull a complete assignment out of thin air, which was interesting. I managed to do it, and the assignment itself was all on marketing and how you can market yourself and when to use different marketing strategies to get your message across and all that sort of thing. So it was really, really important, really interesting stuff, which I hadn't really done a lot of before. So yeah, it was nice sort of trying to write an assignment based on that and trying to do that very, very quickly. While also dealing with everything else and going to work and, all the other fun stuff that goes on. So, yeah, this episode is seven weeks overdue, and I apologise sincerely for that. I do hope you guys forgive me in that respect. I know that, I do have not a huge following, but I do have a following, and I do appreciate each and every one of you that listens, be it one episode, every episode, maybe only the episodes that interest you. And yeah, as a way of sort of saying thank you, because I'm getting close to my 100th episode. I believe this is my 93rd or 94th episode. For my 100th episode, I'm going to do a bit of a giveaway. Now, originally I was thinking about giving away one of the MetaMask NFTs, but unfortunately they've all gone to Genesis Collection, which means that they cannot be bought anymore at the moment. So I'm not giving up one of my personal masks. So what I thought I'd do instead is, I've also talked about previously my Redbubble store, my consulting type of services. So my prize will effectively be a 2-hour session with me, if you want, on anything. It can be about passive income, it can be about starting up your own print-on-demand shop, it can be helping you workshop a idea of how to get your business out there, or give you an idea for a business that you could possibly do. The other thing as well is, if you're not really interested in that, maybe you've got your own successful thing, you don't want to really talk to me, the other option is you can use, I will pay for $100 of Australian dollars credit of merch and stuff off my Redbubble store. Basically you would put it through, and then I would order it for you and send it to you once it comes to me, maybe with a few little extra personal items as well, just to basically make it feel. So that's up to the value of $100. That could be a couple of hoodies, or if it's just a little bit over that, that's okay as well. It could be a lot of stickers, it could be, anything that they've got. They've got hats now. So what do you need to do to enter? Well, obviously you need to listen to the podcast. What I will be doing is basically, on my 100th episode, I'll announce the competition, and then I will try to, if you guys can send in your questions to me, I just basically want to know any questions, anything you want to know about. Every time I do get one, I will do that question, and that will be added as an entry. So yeah, I want you to send in your questions. That question will be one entry, and then I will sort of do a random Google thing based on questions that come out. It will be based on the questions and how I receive them. There is no question, I would like to say, that is off topic. There are some things that I won't really answer about, and that is some personal stuff in regards to, more stuff to do with my mum and myself. But otherwise, anything else is up for grabs. One question is one entry, and I would, it is per person per week. So, say for example, if you write me a question and it might have write me an email and it might have 5 questions. If I do one of those questions in the first week, then the second week will have, another question, and I can pull those together, so you don't have to send it through every single week. But if you do want to, you can do it that way. And it can be about, as I said, anything to do with me. It can be about what I think about a certain opinion about something, what I think about, if it's something that you're working on, you can always hit me up and contact me, and we can work together. I obviously don't charge for my consulting services, but if you needed a new CV or cover letter or interview skills and you wanted that to be the prize, like I will make contact with you first and say, hey, look, what do you want to do? Because that's also something that I can look at as well. Like if you're looking for a new job, maybe you want to get a bit of help applying for that job and so forth, then yeah, that's the sort of thing that I can do and try to help you achieve that goal, basically. So yeah, going forward, I will try to make this every episode, but every if I don't do it every week, then every time I do a new episode, if there are any questions, I will read those questions out. The competition starts basically from once this episode goes live, which will be later today. Then once the competition has finished, once we're on our 100th episode, I'll read out the winner on the 100th episode, and that winner, I will contact them and organise what it is that they want and let you guys know what's going on. I do want to keep as many questions as I can. I mean, I'd love to answer your questions. I do think it is a great time for you to ask anything that you want to ask. And yeah, so hopefully it'll get a bit more engagement between you and me, and we can hopefully, get everything all going together. So as I said, the competition does start from this time though. Okay, competition stuff aside, what else have I been up to? I've been reading a lot of books, and by reading a lot of books, I mean listening to a lot of audiobooks through the Libby app. And so I'm already at like 22 for the year, which is quite surprising for me. And I'm sort of in between about 3 other books as well. So, yeah, I've been trying to consume as much as I can, and I've been trying to eat better. I've been trying to exercise more. All the stuff that I think I needed to do just to try and get me out of my funk, basically. And I have felt like I have been in a bit of a funk recently with the stuff that I'm going through. I find it very hard to be motivated, very hard to get out of bed, very hard to do anything. It feels like my days all meld into one at the moment, which does sound a bit... I apologise for the last couple of episodes have been a bit... whiny and me just talking about my life and how tough I'm having it at the moment. But, you guys come for the honesty and the openness, and honestly, that is the way I've been feeling. So I will try to sort of limit that a bit this episode, and talk more about what else I'm doing. So as I said, I've been reading a couple of books. I was planning on doing a sort of a book review episode, at some point. I know I've been doing them before, but I was thinking about instead leaving it for the end of the year. So basically, if I can hit my 50 books, then I'll have a couple of episodes that I can do, part 1, part 2, maybe part 3 if I'm lucky enough to get to 50 books, and then just explaining them what I was feeling. I'm writing them all down, what dates I've done them and all that sort of stuff. So that's another question if you want to know. You can answer that for me. Like, would you like me to do an episode every 6 months on the books that I'm reading and what I've been going through? Or would you rather me do them all at once at the end of the year? So that's another thing. What else has been going on with Alex? Just yesterday, for the first time, I actually started up my Redbubble. I started creating a few designs. I had a sort of a light bulb moment in the middle of the car while I was driving, and I was like, oh, that'd be a cool t-shirt design. And it's just a type of design, so it's just writing, just with different colours and different styles. And so within the span of about 2 hours, honestly, it was more like 3 hours for the total thing, but basically about an hour was spent creating the designs, all around, empathy and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to check them, go along to my Redbubble. You'll see them loaded, and I made about 21 designs. Of course, I haven't sold anything in a long time, haven't even touched my Redbubble in a long time. So what I thought I'd talk about was some of the things that Redbubble now have that I didn't realize, and if you are wanting to sort of create your own Redbubble store, maybe this would be something that might be worth it for you. So one of the things that Redbubble has just recently introduced is a whole lot of pet stuff. Now, I don't know how long it's been, because I've been pretty much out of the loop for Redbubble, just for, a good couple of months. And so they now sell things like pet bandanas, pet blankets, and also pet mats, like a cat mat and a dog mat. So that was very interesting to see that, and you can apply your designs to those things. In previous episodes, I've talked about how you can do that in bulk. Knowing what I know now, it may not be the best idea to do those in bulk, just for the simple reason that If you do them in bulk, it will automatically change your icon of what you want the design to be as that particular item. Hence why half of my shop is all hats, when I didn't actually ask them to be hats. They all had their own specific thing. I haven't looked at the Redbubble pricing, but I know that they have changed their Redbubble pricing strategy, so that is another thing that I need to get into, and I will start getting into that because I do want to start getting back into that, creating the passive income through things like print on demand as well. Another new item that they've got, so I talked about hats before. They previously had dad hats and sort of baseball hats. Now what they've got is they've actually got bucket hats as well. So, you know, it gives you a little bit more opportunity to put your designs on a larger sort of canvas with the bucket hat, and it's more likely to stand out. So, previously on the dad hats and the sort of the baseball hats, while there is a big enough room to put things, it's not really a nice design. Whereas, you know, with the bucket hat, and I'm not a bucket hat person, I prefer to use baseball caps. I love my baseball caps that I wear. But, you know, this particular type of bucket hat, I think if you are going with sort of a typeset, it's going to look a lot cooler. And there's a couple of other different colours that you can sort of put in there as well. So yeah, that was pretty surprising. I have kept up to date with the Spring stuff. Spring are trying more and more and are focusing more and more on developing their products more for, and I've said this before, for creators, for YouTubers, that sort of stuff, where you can create your own shop. And they now have an integration with YouTube itself, so that you can simply, if you're on YouTube, you can click the creators shop. It'll automatically take you to that shop from YouTube, similar to a normal link, but as an actual button. So you click the button and you automatically go to that creators shop, and all of their marketing, all that sort of stuff is still done by you. Apparently they now have they've gone back to a marketplace as well, which is very, very interesting, because that was this thing that sort of hurt Spring for a while, was they took away their marketplace, meaning that, you know, you wouldn't be able to actually advertise, or if you did advertise, you'd have to do your own advertising, and it would only be on your site, as opposed to like a marketplace like Redbubble, for example. So I've got to look into that a bit more and read up on it a bit more. Pardon me. But one of the other things that they've done recently is you are now able to create your own plushies. And you'd probably be like, why the hell would we want that? Well, you know, if you're, say for example, you're a streamer, maybe you have a cute little thing that you like, that you want to turn into a soft toy that people can have, or maybe you want for yourself so that you can promote yourself and your brand. A perfect example of this is there's a YouTube creator called Strictly Dumpling. He does a whole lot of reviews of like different types of fast foods across Asia. He also does different types of foods, restaurants. He used to review airplane meals. That's where I first found him. So it's quite cool that he's got that things, but he's actually got a soft toy that he, you know, a sort of a dumpling that he used to have on his show when he films back at home, when he's not traveling the globe and all that sort of stuff. So taking that sort of idea of his icon, that is a dumpling, a happy dumpling basically, and then turning that into a plushie, and then being able to sell that is actually a really, really smart idea for creators. And while yes, it probably is all more focused at like waifu type Twitch streamer girls that want something cute that their fans can buy, it is something that is there. You could imagine someone like Loserfruit, who streams a lot of Fortnite stuff, having a strawberry with eyes, for example, which is kind of her icon. That could be a plush which they could make from Spring, send it out for you. I have previously found that Spring are very, very high quality. I had a mask from them, which it took years to break, and I was wearing it almost every day, but the printing itself was fantastic. I've since lost it, and it really pisses me off, but it was a perfect fit for a mask. and my t-shirts that I've got from them have never faded. So Teespring do have a lot of cool things as well. So I mean, I know I dogged on Spring before, but if their marketplace is actually live and you can search for it in a marketplace environment like you can with Redbubble and Amazon and all that sort of stuff, then that may just be worth a look. Now granted, their markup sales are pretty high, so you're not going to make much money, but if you're marketing your shop as more high quality versus high quantity, which is an option, then, you know, Spring is probably quite a viable option. I haven't been on Spring in a long time, so I haven't tried to build my shop. If I was going to, I'd probably do it from scratch again, and I'd have a new way of doing it. But yeah, that's another idea. Also, what's been going on is I have done a lot of soul searching recently. I know I said I didn't want to talk about the wishy-washy type stuff. A lot of that soul searching has been sort of influenced by my work. We've done something called the Clifton Strengths, and it's basically where you do 34 different strengths and you assess yourself through a 3-minute quiz. Basically, every you only get about 45 or 50 seconds per question to answer your question, and then it gives you your results. So I found it quite interesting that out of my 34 strengths that everyone is identified as, my number one is called futuristic. And I'll be honest, in my workplace, I don't feel that I use futuristic enough. But after looking at my personal life, what I'm trying to do with the print on demand, what I'm trying to do with my investments, what I'm trying to do with my NFTs, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that does make a lot more sense now. So, yeah, it's I don't know if there's a free version available, but Clifton Strengths, if you take the time to actually analyze it, they provide you a pretty amazing pack, actually, which explains, what you bring to the team versus what you need from the team in order for you to maximize your particular skills. So yeah, I strongly suggest taking a bit of time and doing something like the Clifton Strengths. I mean, there's a couple of other free ones that you can do, like the dots. You can do. It's very similar to the way that you would look at yourself with the love languages that I've talked about before. So I know I've talked about the 5 love languages as a book. There is a survey you and your partner can do, and then they will tell you what type of language you are. That is completely free. This is the similar sort of thing, except it's not looking at your love languages. It's looking more at how you work, how you interact with people, and then the way we did it is we did it across our whole branch. So how does our branch work? How does our team work? How do we work with others in our team? So it's very similar to the love languages, because once you know how the other people work and how they know how you work, you can then change what it is that you're doing to help them understand from your point of view, and vice versa. They can basically give you some more guidance to help you see their way, and then work together to make sure you're both achieving that goal. So yeah, very, very interesting. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, as I said, my first one was futuristic, and I've also got communication in there, and it's definitely worth a look. And so I've been focusing a lot on that sort of stuff and how I can sort of maximize the stuff that I'm doing, and that's what got me into this, going through Redbubble again and going, you know what, I should get back into it. I know I've got a lot going on at the moment, but if I can, if every week I can upload 20 designs, simple designs that I can create, then, by the end of the year, I'll have 1,000 designs up, and then, if I'm lucky enough to hit anything, then I'm hitting 1-2 sales. I haven't had a sale in a while, so this is a way of me being able to just keep up with everything, and it keeps my artistic mind flowing, which I don't have the most artistic mind, but just a little bit of artistry in there will help me going, okay, it helps me focus on something else other than what's going on in my life at the moment, which is stressing me, or making me feel restless. And it's just taking that time and going, okay, if I think of this, then I can do this. And so that's the plan I'm going to try and do, like once a week, and just, even if it's 20 designs, if it's 50 designs, whatever, but just try to get some designs out and then download them and then actually start the uploading process, because that's the longest part at the moment. And I know there is automate POD or automate print on demand stuff that is available to you. I don't want to pay for that stuff. Like, the whole point is this is free. I'm trying to get people to do this for a free thing. While I pay for Canva, I don't want to pay for the other thing as well to automate everything, because the automation doesn't actually look as nice as I would like it to, which is the other thing as well. I have been playing a few games recently, but at the same time trying to keep everything focused as well. So I started playing Pokemon Go again. That way I can walk around a bit and actually, feel like I'm doing something while holding my phone and walking. Other than that, there hasn't been too much going on. As I said, I've been trying to keep everything going along as best as I can. I do think I have, let you guys down a bit by not talking for the last couple of weeks, or 7 weeks, should I say. So, yeah, I do really want to rectify that and try to get back into the habit of doing every Thursday and, all that sort of stuff. But the main takeaways from this episode is competition starts in a few minutes once this goes live. All you need to do to enter is provide me with a question. Every question you provide me is one entry. I would prefer to have them one a week per person, but if you do provide me with sort of 5 or 6 questions, I don't mind splitting those up over the week. As I said, the questions can be about pretty much anything. The only thing is, as I said, the relationship between me and my mum is sort of off limits. I don't want to provide too much information about my partner. You guys know that I love her very much, but she is a very private person otherwise. So, I won't be saying out her name. I might have slipped her name a couple of times, but ideally, those sorts of things, those sorts of personal friendship names and all that sort of stuff, I won't be saying usually. So I'm not going to be shouting out my mates going, "Hey, this guy, rah rah rah," because it is personal still. I'm pretty much an open book for you guys, and but there are some things that I will draw the line on. And if I do feel it is a bit too personal, I'll probably go back to you and be like, "Oh, look, I don't really want to talk about that. However, I'll give you an opportunity to basically put another question in that you may want answered instead." So I will get those all ready for my 100th episode. I will probably answer them every week, and then on the 100th episode I will do the draw, hopefully we just get things going a little bit better. If you guys have any ideas for what you want me to talk about in the future, just let me know. I am happy to have any suggestions as well, and that would also count as an entry. Oh, surprise. But until then, I hope everyone has a fantastic day and week, or listen if you are listening to this. And as always, I love you guys, and I truly do. I am sorry that it's taken me so long to get back into this, and being honest, this could have been one of those situations in my life where I just give up and don't say anything, and just leave it hanging there. But I want to, every time that I don't talk to you guys, I feel regret, I feel guilty. And I couldn't let that go on a little bit longer, because you guys are my sounding board, so that when shit does hit the fan for me, you guys are always listening, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you, and as always, I love you guys. I hope everyone is doing really well. I hope everyone's staying safe and keeping well, but as always, good luck. And I love you guys, and I will hopefully talk to you next episode or next week. So competition is live as of now. No, now. Wait. 3, 2, now. There we go. Have a great day, week. Bye.